Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming to Deb Chanel's 48th World, where we do reality show reviews. The reality show review we're going to be doing tonight is on Thicker Than Water, the Tankard family. The title of the show was Secrets Revealed. Again, that was Secrets Revealed, episode 9, season 3. Basically, this is pretty much it was just like a hodgepodge or collective type of tapings that they edited out that they didn't show, or they did show during the regular season or the current season that we're in. They were just showing bits and pieces and of like takes we didn't get a chance to see, and some we did get a chance to see. So we'll just jump right on into it. It was kind of boring to me, because I was expecting it to be another good storyline, or since the next episode that's coming up next week is the final episode for this season, I thought they were going to give us a little bit more drama, or have some resolutions on some certain things they had drama through the season with. But they didn't give me that. It was just more so recaps, retakes, and some footage that were put in that we didn't get a chance to see during season 3. So let's go into it. We have Jewel and Ben Sr. Ben is getting ready to take pictures and do an interview, I guess, on the life of Ben Tankard. And because he is a producer, music artist, jazz artist, they wanted to do a little storyline on him, and he's coming out with a book about his life as well. And of course, Jewel is, going from platform to platform, making sure the photographer people get her husband in a good light. Then she's talking with the people that's supposed to be interviewing him, and I guess what questions to ask him. Pretty much like she's trying to be his PR manager. And one of the camera guys said, "Can we photograph her?" Like he was attracted to Jewel, and that pretty sure was a compliment, or it seemed to me to be a compliment, not like he was really hitting on her or anything like that. And then we had Jewel was walking around with baby Micah. And then you had Marcus and Tish in the background, and you can tell she didn't too much like that Jewel had her baby, or that's how I perceived it. Because, she didn't confront Jewel like she's confronting Ben and the kids about giving her baby back to her. Honey, I know that, because if she tried, honey, Jewel probably cuss her out and tell her to sit down somewhere, pretty much, because she living off them scot-free. And technically, if baby Ben Jr. can get out and get his place, surely Marcus and her can get out and get their own place and start living in the lap of luxury, and get out there and know what it means to be able to support your child, take care of your child. Come on. Marcus talks with so much sense and so much wisdom. Go on out there and get your own place, Anyway, we move on from that situation. We go to Jewel in Brooklyn. They're having a talkover moment, discussing Brooklyn, and when her husband is going to be when the Lord's going to bless her with her husband that's coming. And she's kind of scared to even introduce her so-called, well, I say stepmom, because she still has a mom. I don't think Brooklyn mom is dead. So I kind of feel some kind of way with all of the kids telling Jewel, she's their mama. They're saying mom and not making reference to their other moms that actually birthed them in the world. Serene, that is her biological mom, but the rest of the kids are not Jewel's biological children, but she actually is taking care of them and caring for them. I just wish they could call her, some other name that could be endearing, and not taking their mother's, their real mother's name in vain by taking on that big title. But that's just my feelings about it. But anyway, they're going on talking, and Brooklyn's kind of hesitant to even tell Jewel about having a guy in her life, because she said Jewel want to know the guy's bank account number, the social security number. And Brooklyn like, that's just too much. You'll be done ran somebody off. But I like this the type of relationship they are building, and hopefully that will go on throughout their lifetimes together. That you had Ben's second wife, I guess. Because on this particular episode, he made reference to Marcus' mother as a one-night stand. And I was like, what? That's just awful to say. And for you to be a preacher, I mean, it's maybe true in your eyes, but you could have, like, you know, softened that blow, because that is your son, your oldest son, mother. So give her that type of respect, you know, especially when you're talking on TV. But we'll get to that situation as we go on. But that was a cute scene. We're going to Ben Jr., Jewel, and Shanara. Shanara and Ben Jr. is at the Destiny Community Church that Jewel and her husband pastor over, and they're getting the lights and settings right for, I guess, Sunday service. Then they go in, you know, Jewel shows up to see what they're doing, and she can really see what they are doing. And then, you know, somehow Benji and Shanara gets on the conversation. Well, really Benji brings it up as a topic of conversation for filming, I guess. He's talking about how Shanara is stingy on the love making, and she promised him to have sex, like he had to prioritize and book in a time where they can have sex. And I was like, oh Lord, y'all talking about sex in the house of the Lord, and you bring your mother-in-law into it, and oh my goodness, just a hot mess. But she gave them some solid advice, even though I really feel they shouldn't put certain things on TV, because certain things should stay between a husband and a wife. Just like Ben and Jewel, they don't go and tell their children when they're having a upsetting time with one another, and you know, they want to be nice, nasty to each other when, you know, they're having difficulty with understanding a situation they may be going through, and they definitely don't put it on camera. So I was like, this is kind of, you know, do as you want somebody to do unto you. Don't put everything on TV. It's not necessary. But anyway, I guess that's TV life and reality, and you just want to expose as much as you can, though it's not going to hurt you. It's going to hurt the children in the long run by putting too much of their business out there. But anyway, we go to commercial, we come back, we're on Brooklyn. Brooklyn has a trainer to come out to get her cardio on, even though she has a sister by the name of Britney, and she's into fitness herself. And it seems at this particular time they were taking clips for when they were on a better relationship with one another as far as communication wise. They weren't really talking about having a baby, and Brooklyn really giving her 2 cents in about the whole ideal and it being so ludicrous. You know, get a man first, get a husband, you know, and go through that type of cycle. Or, you know, experience life a little bit more, because when you have a child, that child, you pretty much set in motion for them to be your first priority, and you become to be second, you know, in line for anything or any fun or enjoyment. So I was glad to see them going back to more happier times when they were, you know, in sync with one another. So, and of course, Brooklyn was doing her flirting and getting that all in, and other than that, it didn't seem like the guy was really paying too much attention to her, or he was camera shy, so he didn't really know how to react or respond, since, you know, his business is on the line too, especially if he's like self-employed, going around teaching people how to stay in tune with their body and keep their bodies in shape and this, that, and the other. So we leave that scene. We go to Ben has come down with shaving cream at home all over his head and on his face, just looking like a little snowman. And he's asking the question to his wife, Jewel, who's been taking his razors, because he had a bunch of razors now in the pack. I guess he was hiding out, and now he only has 2. And I was like, well, you might want to check with Marcus. You know what I'm saying? He's the other man in the house, and I know Tisha is not stealing your what do you call it, razors just to shave her legs, if that's something she do. And Jewel had already told you in front of your face, and I don't think she would lie, that she has her own razors. You know, she don't need to borrow yours. But I think he was just, you know, filming something. It was just impromptu, and he didn't have, you know, maybe his razors were missing, or I don't know what Ben was trying to do. It was kind of hilarious. But he comes down and try to accost his wife and make, you know, her fake like they're having sex on the counter or something. You know, they're being sexual and playful with each other. But it was just crazy. He's too big to be acting that way. And I mean just big, being a big, you know, bulky guy, getting on top of the, you know, the counter island bar table, you know, trying to insinuate sexual acts he want to do to her and stuff. So it was kind of nice, nasty. It was okay. I got a few chuckles here and there. Then we go and go to the scene where Britney is having a playful moment with her sister Brooklyn, while Brooklyn is trying to work on her expo piece. And like I said, I enjoyed that because this is where in happier times and not pretty much what we've been seeing for the last 3 or 4 episodes of them being in sibling rivalry with one another because of the differences they feel about how Britney is trying to solidify her life with being a single parent and all those natures, all that of a particular standpoint that Brooklyn just don't feel comfortable with her doing that because she knows she had to struggle herself prior to her getting to having a relationship with her father and being on a, you know, successful show and, you know, showing her insecurities and stuff of that nature. But Brooklyn just don't, Britney just don't get it. So I really gave up 4 episodes ago, saying just let that child have her baby, and then she's gonna see what it is, what it's all about, and hopefully everybody be still in their good health to help her with raising her baby. But sometimes you just gotta let people experience stuff for themselves and say I told you so later on down the road. But family's still gonna have family regardless, but they're gonna definitely have a point of opinion once you definitely didn't heed their warnings of how difficult it is in today's time, even though you have a father who's very wealthy and could definitely take care of your needs, but he's not here, he's not promised to be here your entire lifespan or your child's entire lifespan. So what you gonna do when the handouts stop? You know, the reality is gonna crush you just like a boulder falling on you, literally. So then we go to Shanara and Tisha, or having a sister-in-law moment together. Both have come over. Well, she stays there, meaning Tisha, but Shanara has come over with Benji, you know, to visit the fam and this, that, and the other. And Marcus goes over, not Marcus, Benji Jr. goes over there to try to touch the baby or play with the baby. The baby's woke, you know what I'm saying? She's trying to push his hand away and this, that, and the other. And you know, everybody's paying attention to it as far as Shanara. And, you know, it's just, I don't know what's with Tish. She has been a real itch this whole season and even the last couple of seasons. I just don't really know what Marcus really saw in her as far as her demeanor. Because maybe she wasn't this way when they were just dating. Maybe she just was obsessed with him. But it's just this baby thing again. If you had to like be with that baby by yourself all the time and work, and you weren't living out the luxury of your father-in-law and your mother-in-law, you know, I think reality will hit you like a ton of bricks too, and a boulder will fall and crush your world. Now speaking of Tish, because she's just so I just don't she's a negative one on my radar. You know, she ain't even the positive right now. So, enough said about her. But it was just a good scene. Them being more, I guess you would call it, having a neutral space where they can talk and not be fake. And while they're having a conversation in the same room. So I guess, you know, they've come to a mutual agreement that they love their family they're married into, and they will coexist and be nice to each other when they have to, but other than that, keep it moving type of understanding between the two, and I'm okay with that. We move to Jewel and Ben. They're talking about how Jewel keeps being centered when it comes to his kids, and he was giving an example when Brooklyn was put in jail, and it was at nighttime, and Ben was like, well, at least I know where she at. She ain't gonna be hurt, and at least she got shelter over her head, but I'm going back to sleep. And then it's just like Jewel was like, no, that's your child, you need to go down there and get her out of jail, period, and point blank. That's not a place for her to be spending any nights. And we have the resources to get her out. She needs to be home, and we need to talk about all this acting out and what is she doing and this, that, and the other. We have to keep talking with her. That's your child, baby. Go get your child out of jail. So he likes that point about her step again where she definitely didn't have to step in. The only child she has out the relationship, and that's not even Ben's child biologically, but Cyrene is who I'm speaking of. But she was like 1 or 2 when her and Ben got together, so that's basically all the father that she knows of. And evidently the father, her real biological father, is either dead or he just don't want to be in no relationship with her, because we never have a storyline where she's wanting to see her real dad, and I guess if he didn't want to be around, why would you if you got a dad like Ben? So all of her needs are being answered. But then I think she's been acting out this season too, but for the last 2 episodes previous, when they had went out to a cabin in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, for a little short weekend vacation, and this previous one where she broke down and told him she had got date raped, and those were the 2 pivotal episodes that really let me see a different softer side of Cyrene, because really she has been a total itch all the seasons that have come. Well, the first 2 seasons, and we're on 3rd season with them now. But she's just been empty-hearted, not sympathetic, don't have no empathy in her. And now I'm coming around to see it, from her. So we do see a softer side of Cyrene, and not one that's petty, arrogant, ignorant, and lack of compassion for another human being, not stuck up and all of that. So hopefully we can definitely see Jewel continue doing a great job with being kids that she really feels is her own. I feel it on that point. Once you let a child in your life, you don't care how they got there. It's just, you want to take care of them to the best of your knowledge and your capability. So kudos to Jewel. We go on to Brooklyn surprises Diamond with a 12-year-old birthday party. She gives her a dog, and I don't understand how Brooklyn, even though they made a reference, Brittany and Marcus, about Brooklyn not saving enough time or putting enough time into a lot of things that she partakes in. And especially, you would want to have seen Diamond's other friends that she may have wanted to be at the party, even though it was like an after school party that she surprised us when she came home from school. But she brought 2 friends home with her, and it was just those 2 little girls and all of the family besides I don't think Shanara was there, Shanara and Benji Jr., but Marcus, Micah, and Tish was there, and a few of 1 or 2 friends of Brooklyn was there. And she, she did a nice, cute setup, but I thought it would be more family oriented. She probably could have gave her the dog and a little something else and said, you're gonna have your big birthday party where you can have all your friends. We're gonna have it in the backyard on Saturday or whatnot. It just was kind of cheesy, but it is what it is. She seemed to have enjoyed it, and it just, I think she liked the dog because that's something she wanted. So I'm pretty sure she was okay with the birthday. Anyway, we leave there. We go to Tisha's talking about motherhood and how it is so complicated and this, that, and that. And I don't think I'm going to say, girl, please sit down somewhere. Okay, hide your face, your body. Put yourself under the bed until I come back and get you next episode. That's all I'm going to say about Tisha. Anyway, we go to Cyrene calls Micah. She comes in the house and she goes up to find baby Micah. And she found him. And I don't know why she named him Leviticus. I'm like, wait a minute now. Okay. But anyway, she goes in to tell Tish why isn't Micah sleeping in his own nursery that they pretty much had designed. I'm pretty sure to her specifics. And it's just like a brand new room. Nobody's been in there except for clothes that she should really have in the closet, in a dresser drawer. They just, I can just tell the kind of person she is. I mean, all these baby clothes just sitting on top of the dresser or the changing table, and you ain't folding them up. You ain't did nothing. That's a hot mess. A very hot mess. I'm like, ew. But anyway, she goes on and really tells Tisha, we have this room for him. He need to be sleeping in it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are just down the hall from him, and then she goes in and say, well, he almost choked one night on his saliva and this, that, and that. And, you know, it's just a hot mess. But she can tell that Marcus is basically wanting to have more time with his wife, a long time where Michael can't hear them in the comings and goings, you know, of what they're trying to do behind closed doors. But y'all know what I mean. But, you know, she's like, no, I gotta have my baby with me and this, that, and that. I'm like, okay, cool. I hope you don't feel that women that baby get 2 and 3, because that's gonna be a hot mess. But anyway, Cyrene then takes Michael down to his room and lays him in the crib. And of course, it's strange to him because he never sleeps there. Hell, it's probably hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm used to sleeping in my other cushy thing. I don't know nothing about this crib. It got bars on it, and you know, the other one's like a big crib bassinet type thing. So he's like, yeah, he's very unfamiliar with it because she never keeps them in it. I mean, she might put them in it while she going down there to get some clothes. That's the only thing it seems like it's for. But you know, like I said, they can definitely turn that into another if they plan on staying with his mother and father, which again, I'm totally against that. If you're gonna have your own life, you're gonna be wanting to be treated like a man, king of your own castle, you need to have your own place. So I'm gonna get off that subject because I just don't understand it. But I was glad that Cyrene brought that issue up, because I always thought that they just didn't have a room for him or something, or they didn't want to have a room for him, and that's why he was in their room. But try please. Anyway, we go to commercial. We go back to where Ben talks about women. He said women like to talk all the time. That's why he needs his man cave. And he goes on to say, yes, Lord, Jewel, you like to talk, honey, and I like to hear your ideas on stuff, this and that. But you know, I like to be with men sometimes. So that's when they bring in a scene. Well, wait a minute. Ben is talking about being friends and the wives. Okay, yeah. Then we go to the scene where Ben is meeting with his other menfolk friends, and he's bringing along Benji Jr. as well as Marcus, and they're just having a men talk round table discussion while they eat. And you know, they talk about their wives and this, that, and that. And then that's what I was talking about when I was referring to Ben Sr. making empty statements about his past women. Like Jewel is just the cream of the crop, and the other 3 women he was messing with, because all of them have different mothers. I want to say Cyrene, no, not Cyrene, Brooklyn, and let me see, Brooklyn, and well, they might have the same. Brooklyn, Marcus, and Brittany have the same mother, I'm thinking. But how he was saying she was a one-night stand, meaning to me he was saying she was a trick, she was a jump off, she was a groupie. And that's kind of like nice, nasty, shading his mom in the worst way, when hey, she did the best she could, because we don't hear her story. I don't know, I'm not gonna say you were, you know, all right and mighty, because you did do what you had to do, which was you thought of yourself first, and you were just sleeping around doing everything we using in the NBA, and then you want to do your music career, and that took you out on the road, like you said, 200 days out the year, and we only have 365 days, so we can see where, you know, you were really a lot of times gone, and your family members had to be taking care of your children if they weren't with their mothers that you slept with. And then you have Benji Jr., which is too much, not too much older than Cyrene. Where that baby mama come from? So I'm like, boy, you was really dipping and dabbing, wasn't you? And so there you go. So that's like 2 baby mamas. Yeah, if I'm claiming it right. Then again, you know, Brittany and Brooklyn could have had separate mothers. I don't know, but it seemed like Ben had 2 women in his life prior to Jewel. But anybody know the significance, please let me know, because you know, I just didn't like the way he was putting down Marcus's mom by saying she was just a one-day jump off, pretty much. But then he goes on to say, you know, he's glad that he had to get everything out the way that he wanted to do for his life, and solidifying it into being able to reap the rewards and the security of his hard work by being able to spend time when Marcus is a young man, and he can tell him some of the mistakes he made, so he don't have to make those same mistakes. So that was a good scene. And you know, he was saying something stupid about he can't get Marcus to sit on his lap. And I'm like, I'm with Marcus myself. What I'm gonna sit on your lap for, unless you're on your dying bed, or you know, you going out my life and I don't want you to go, or stuff like that. That would be the only two options that I can think of that I would want to sit on my dad's lap. But you know, my dad, he passed away in 2006, 4th of July, 6 years ago. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But you know, yeah, it takes a lot for you to want to be a grown-ass person, and you want to sit on some other grown-ass man's, you know, y'all two men too. So I could see exactly where Marcus was coming from. No, sir, I'm 30. I think he said he was 31 or 33. And you want me to sit on your lap? Get out of here, Daddy. But anyway, we go from that scene. Then we go to Ben and Ben Jr. They're at his airplane hangar where he keeps his toys for the air. And probably other little toy cars and stuff like that. Hid out in his man cave that he calls his little airport that he has, that I'm pretty sure he's renting out. Then his son Ben Jr. comes to get some advice on how to deal with losing some of yourself to your new baby that's coming in the world, and your wife not acting right with the sex and this, that, and the other. So that was a good moment of fatherly advice given to son to help him out on being a good husband still to his wife, and you know, trying to make her feel real good about herself in the relationship, especially when, you know, she's very hormonish, and he just had to take everything in stride, and hopefully she won't have any postpartum depression. She can just snap back to her old ways, her mind, and her physique. But he, you know, he says he's getting along with it. It's making him grow up faster than what he had intended to do, but it's okay. Having his baby girl, having her in his life stabilizes him, and he knows what he wants, even though, you know, he's been approached by certain women and this, that, and the other, but he knows Shanara's the best thing that happened to him. So we go from there. We're at Jules. She's talking about how Ben eats burgers all the time at Buster's. And Ben is telling her it's better than me having an affair. You know, or any other, you know, things that could definitely get on her nerves. But, you know, I'm pretty sure she tries to get him to eat right. But, you know, when it comes to, unless he had a heart attack or something of that nature, it's hard to get people, including myself, to try to do right, especially when you want to eat what you want to eat, and that's it. But you know, they just had that little talk. It was kind of cute, but it is what it is. Then we go to Jewel is hosting her talk show, and she has Dr. Heavenly from Married to Medicine on with her. And I don't know really why they could have cut this scene out, because I'm like, you coming to a gospel platform, they're talking about, you know, Christian things, and then you're gonna get on stage. Dr. Heavenly is who I'm talking about, and gonna say you haven't read the Bible from cover to cover yet. I'm like, how old are you, and how long you always used to talk about the Lord and being, you know, submissive to your husband and this, that, and the other, and being a perfect woman for your husband, and quoting scriptures when you were on Married to Medicine, but you haven't read the Bible from cover to cover out of all your lifetime that you're here, you know, at your age now. I found it very, what do you call it? I'm lost for words, but we'll just say stupid. I thought that whole scene was stupid. They didn't need to have her up there saying stupid stuff. And even Jewel looked at her kind of like sideways, like, what are you talking about? Just answer my questions and don't say anything, you know, off record, okay? But you know, they went on the conversation with talking about being submissive, because Jewel saying, you know, I heard you say that, and that you would be happy to submit to your husband and this, that, and that, because that's proper order when you're going biblical about it, and this and that. And you know, she says she does, but you know, Jewel has a mouth of her own. She has her own individual opinions, and she speaks them. However, you know, her husband, Dr. Hellman, must have had a conversation with her about losing weight. And she, you know, once they hit a rocky point in their relationship, and it was filming on camera, doing her take on Married to Medicine. She was talking about, I lost weight for you. I did this all for you, Daddy. And now you can't even, you know, support me when I want to do my matchmaking type of, I don't know, dating organization she wanted to get. You know, like Match.com, stuff like that. But she was going to do it all on the computer. Still hadn't heard about that. But, and I don't like women when they be calling they, well, I'm sure y'all heard me talk about that, about how disgusted I am when women do that, calling their husband's dad. And no, you call them husband, okay? You don't call them no dad. You always have a one dad, okay? And you might, depending on how your mother go through men, you might have a couple of stepdads or here and there. But you only have one dad, okay? One biological dad. So it is what it is. I ain't too fond of her, never have. You know, she's kind of nice, nasty, and she try to down people, you know, instead of lifting them up. But anyway, we go off her. And then we did give us a bonus clip. And then that's pretty much it. I have of the episode that aired today on the Tanker Life, or Thicker Than Water. They show us a bonus clip of Shanara coming home from the hospital after having her baby Billy. And they're having a moment in the den area of their condo apartment. And what was that? Ben Jr. has a selfie stick where he's kind of talking on camera and showing him the baby and his wife Shanara. So I kind of thought that was off. That was kind of tacky, because I was waiting for the baby to be born on our final and last episode of the season that's coming up next week. I think they should have kept that until then, because it just didn't play around with recaps of what they were showing us. But it is what it is. It was a cute scene. But that's all I have, ladies and gentlemen, on episode 9, season 3, Thicker Than Water, Secrets Revealed. Like I said, it was okay. It wasn't much to, you know, talk about in a sense, but it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I hope y'all enjoyed the review. I will see y'all next Sunday, God willing, and we will get back into the last and final episode, season 4, season 3, and we'll discuss some more. Okay, y'all have a blessed weekend and a safe Memorial Day holiday. All right, take care, y'all. Bye.